Hello, in this video I just thought that I would talk a little bit about myself just as a way of introduction. So my name is Anna Lansley. I am 30 years old. I can't believe I'm 30. Apparently I don't look my age. Most people seem to think that I'm about 15. They certainly don't think. I could easily pass for a teenager. If I told someone I was at college, for example, I don't think they'd bat an eyelid. And I don't feel my age. I do feel very, very young. It's hard to believe I'm 30. It's like, what? I literally feel, I actually feel about 12. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Although, interestingly enough, my intellect is not that of a 12-year-old, I'm very well read, but emotionally I feel like a 12-year-old. I'm autistic, and that's why I've decided to do, I like to set up a YouTube channel. These videos that I'm making at the moment are quite experimental. I hope I'll get better with practice. I'm still getting into this videoing lark, so bear with me. I'm autistic. I was diagnosed when I was 21, which is a late diagnosis, although I'm lucky in that obviously some people are diagnosed way later than me, so I should count my blessings. It could have been worse. I grew up not knowing why I was different, why I was a loner at school. I didn't have any friends. I tried to make friends, they didn't work out. So I didn't know why this was, even though obviously I wanted friends. At least when I was a child I did. I later became disillusioned with the whole thing, but I was, I did try. I was quite out there, I did make my attempts, but I didn't have the understanding of how to do it. But I didn't know reasons for this. So I was quite a happy child, actually. I would say I was a happy child, as happy as you can be when you're autistic. Yeah, when I was a happy child, you don't know why you're different, so you just get on with life. You haven't. It's like you don't know any other reality, so you just get on with it. I also have OCD and a lot of anxiety. Although I think that they're actually part and parcel of autism. They don't make me unhappy. I'm not the type. I don't get unhappy really. I don't get happy either. I just am. I just get on with life. Being anxious is my normal, so I don't know any other realities. So it's not like I get down by it or anything. Obviously it's tiring and exhausting, but I just bumble along because essentially this is my reality. I don't know any other reality. This is my life. I'm not a complainer. I just get on with things. My routines, I think, keep me sane. As long as I have my routine, that's just get on with life, innit? I guess I'm quite a sort of logical person, so I don't really have that many feelings, but I could talk about that elsewhere. This is just an introduction. So what am I interested in then? What am I interested in? I like reading. I am a bookworm. I read a lot. I'm a prolific reader. I've got a very, very long book list, and I spend most of my days reading, at least in the mornings. I read as much as I can. I basically live in the world of words. Language is my forte. I have a very wide vocabulary. I know very long words, such as, let's think, tergiversate is one I like. Suffice to say, I know lots of words. I have got a very wide vocabulary. Also, I have Synesthesia, which means that I see numbers and letters and months of the year and days of the week in colour. And I also see time. I literally see time. I can see up and I can see down. which is a little bit weird, or a little bit spooky. I mean, it's not weird to me, but other people might think it's weird. I mean, it's, I mean, it lends a surreal quality to my life, because I can see into the future. I can see time stretching out. I can see it in a very concrete way, and it's all in colour. And days of the week, it's quite tactile. You know, it actually, it's quite hard to explain, but it's just my reality. I didn't know I had synesthesia until I was about 16, 17. And I didn't really think anything of it, because why would you when that's just your reality? And, you know, to me it's just normal. So that's that bit. So yes, words. I love words. And also, because I get synesthesia, I see the words in colour. So I have this heightened sense of word, and that obviously helps with my memory. I have a good word memory. I have a good language memory, a good linguistic memory. I love words. I particularly like words that begin with the letter F, because those words are bright red. E is another red. E is also red, but a different shade of red. So, fortuitous, for example, which is a red word. I like that word. So yeah, my other interest other than reading is I love learning about the world. Well, generally I love learning about how things work, just generally. There's so much to learn, and we're not on this planet for that long, so that kind of makes me feel like there's this sense of urgency almost, because like I want to know I want to understand. I mean, the world is weird, isn't it? The world is strange. I mean, I spend most of my time thinking about existence, thinking about the nature of reality, thinking about death. In actual fact, I know this is morbid, but not a day goes by when I don't think about death. Not in a depressing way. I don't, not in an old doom and gloom way. Just because obviously we are all going to die, so it's kind of, you have to sort of think about it. A bit like in medieval times, didn't they? They had Memento Mori. Yeah, I think that's right. It's in medieval times. I think that's right. Where they had like on paintings, you had like say a little skull at the corner to sort of remind the viewer of the temporal nature of reality. I mean, we're all going to die. I mean, we all know that, but I think people use a whole range of tactics to try and ignore the reality. But I'm a logical, rational person. The fact of death doesn't scare me. In a way, death is kind of like, if you think about it, death is certainty. We're going to die. That's a fact, okay? The uncertain part of it is what scares me. I guess it's more like the fact, you might get a disease, There's an unpredictability that goes along with existence, which scares me. But the actual fact of death does not faze me. And, I mean, I've witnessed death in my family. That didn't faze me. It's not like I don't have feelings or anything, because I do, but I'm a very rational person, and I can very easily use my logic to not let things bother me. I'm very practical and very matter of fact. I just get on with life. I suppose you could say that's a strength on my part, because at least things don't make me down for long. I'm too kind of present-centered. My mind just doesn't have the capacity to kind of get unhappy in that way. You can't really get happy either. The only emotion I really know is anxiety. It's just a thing I have to deal with every single day, which is anxiety. So yes, I think a lot about existence. So philosophy. I'm very interested in philosophy and psychology and how people operate. Yes, I'm very interested in people, believe it or not, which is not very stereotypical. I'm not stereotypical autistic, and a lot of these videos are going to be showing the way autism affects me and how to try and get so that people can see, I'm autistic, but I'm not interested in computers. I use a computer, but I'm not like interested in computers. I'm not good at maths. I have dyscalculia, can't do maths. And quite a few of my interests are to do with people. Well, I guess studying people. So that's not stereotypical. Psychology, philosophy, and symbolism. That kind of comes under psychology, really, like the ways humans, the human condition, the way we as human beings try to navigate the world. I find that very interesting, because we're all going to die, okay? So it's about how people deal with it. If I spend a lot of time analysing people, looking at people, watching people. This strange species, Homo sapiens. I mean, we're very strange. We're just a glorified ape, but we delude ourselves all the time into thinking that we're something special, but we're not. So yeah, psychology and philosophy. The other thing that I'm interested in is food. I love food. Nutrition, very interesting. The stuff of our existence. We wouldn't be here without food. You know, the molecules, the chemicals to make it up, very fascinating. So yes, I like reading about food, nutrition, and I like cooking, and I like experimenting with food. Reading, food, and the other, I guess the other interest is obviously public speaking, which is what I'm doing now. I'm making a video, but I do like speaking and talking. And, yeah, raising awareness of autism, I guess, is another special interest. So yeah, how do I spend most of my days? As I say, most of my days are spent reading. That is what I do. More often than not, my head is stuck in a book. Currently, I am reading a book about Zen Buddhism, which is interesting because I find Buddhism interesting. I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in God or anything. But Buddhism, the philosophy of Buddhism, sort of Zen Buddhism, I find interesting. Because a lot of it's very logical and a lot of it just makes intuitive sense to me. The whole idea everything's empty, a lot of it's, it's an illusion, the self actually doesn't really exist. Suffering is the reality, but we can try and move beyond suffering by trying to relinquish desire. I haven't achieved that, I haven't come anywhere near achieving that because my life is consumed by the fear of things changing. But reading about Buddhism, kind of Zen philosophy, kind of does, I guess, sort of help a little bit, helps me to kind of think about reality in maybe a better, more constructive way. I'm a stoic, I do think everything happens for a reason, a logical reason, a rational reason, a scientific reason. We might not know the reason. I mean, it all began with the Big Bang. I mean, essentially the Big Bang just set everything in motion. We're all energy, matter, just kind of like, sort of randomness to it, obviously. It's a lot of randomness, but at the same time, it just is, it's just reality. You can't, whatever happens just is. It's 100% benign. It's humans that try and put some kind of moral to it, and that just complicates matters and makes things messy, and then people get unhappy because they think that there's something outside of us that is kind of saying this is right, this is good, oh my god, I did something wrong, I'm a sinner, but if I don't believe in that, because to me that's not logical, so there's nothing to worry about. The universe don't give a shit, basically. So yeah, that's how that's my worldview, if you like. The universe don't give a shit, it just happens, get silence of a void and all that. So yeah, I like Buddhism and I like Zen philosophy and reading lots of books to try my short time on this planet before the infinite silence of a void, to try and read as much as I can, to try and spend my time learning. Okay, so I hope that provided you just a very short summation of my life, and I'll try in other videos to talk a bit more about my autism and more how it affects me. I like to say these videos are 100% unrehearsed. I think the improvised approach is better than a rehearsal approach because it comes across as a bit more natural. The problem I think with, so I might go off on tangents at times, but the problem I think with, I know some people who do videos, they script them, rehearse them, but I think that can come across as a little bit contrived and a bit artificial. So all the videos I do are just going to be me speaking to the camera, so there might be quite a few stops and starts. There might be, it's a bit like me talking to myself, really. So yeah, Okay, so I hope you enjoyed listening.